What's up YouTube, Gushigi here, coming at you with a review on Prey 2017. In this video, we'll be going over the good things and the bad things about this game, and if this game is right for you. As always, we'll be analyzing that through the Bartle method. This categorizes players into 4 player types, all dependent on their playstyle interests. Socializers, Explorers, Achievers, and Killers. Prey is a beautiful game with excellent sound, level design, and intriguing game loop that always brings you back wanting more. Its eerie music sets the mood perfectly, giving you an indication that there's an enemy hiding, ready to scare you. Those piercing screams of the nightmare makes that option of evading them until the timer runs out very tempting. Even though the game map is fairly small, with the only areas being the lobby, the life support, and the arboretum, through the great use of verticality and the usage of your abilities provides multiple ways to explore Talos 1. Every room or ventilation shaft that you have access to always has a purpose, and Prey provides you with multiple tools to gain access to these blocked areas. For example, with the leverage ability, you can lift objects blocking doorways. With the hacking ability, you can open locked doors or computers. With the glue gun, you can create stairs to climb up to a window to break into a room. Or with the toy crossbow, you can shoot buttons through windows. Or with the mimic ability, you could turn into smaller objects and just roll your way into a hole that was too big for your human self. This provides you with the opportunity to play your playstyle that you like, that you find fun and intriguing. Prey's intertwining game loop of exploring, to combat, and crafting provides a different experience for each player. With all the loot that you could find in the game, you can use the recycler to simplify what you need to 4 elements. You then have the choice to craft, or the most important thing, neuromods. Neuromods can then help you explore, give you more abilities to combat enemies, or give you more inventory space to carry more loot for, again, crafting. One of the major parts that I didn't like about the game was the combat. The enemy design was predictable and at sometimes indistinguishable. Greater mimics were just mimics with more health. There were 4 different variations of phantoms. The technopaths and the psychopaths, once subdued, were basically the same. Not to mention the bugs within the AI. Military sentries tracking could be thrown off just by strafing. The hitboxes on the nightmares were very inconsistent. At sometimes I didn't know if I was using the ability wrong or if it was the enemy that was bugging out. Another part of the combat which was not explained very well and in some parts useless were the status effects. Nightmares and weavers can roar, which induces the static effect fear, which then reduces your accuracy and makes your screen shake for like 5 seconds. This was presented more as a nuisance rather than an effect that needed to be dealt with. This could easily be ignored or stalled out until the timer was done. And then the other status effect, which was radiation. Radiation came from probably my most hated enemy of the game, the Christoids. Especially in space when it's super hard to avoid because the movement was a little wonky. If Christoids even got a little close to you, then you'd be inflicted with radiation poisoning. And the only thing that radiation did was reduce movement, slow down stamina, and give you less healing. Towards the end, you find out that your choices within the game affect the ending, giving you alternate endings that you can accomplish. I usually like multiple endings. The reward for making the decisions in the game were quite lackluster. All you get was a different cutscene and the assessment at the end of the game. Alright, and down to if this game is right for you. As always, we'll use the Bartle player type to assess the different categories of this game. If you're not familiar with it, I'd recommend checking out my other video. As a short summary, the 4 categories are Explorer, Killers, Socializers, and Achievers. Explorers discover the systems governing the operation of the game world. Killers interfere with the functionality of the game world or the play experience of other players. Socializers get rewards from forming relationships with other players by telling stories within the game world. And Achievers accumulate status tokens by beating the rule-based challenges of the game. For all you explorers out there, this is a 10 out of 10. With a plethora of ways to play the game, the number of build options and the combinations of playstyles that you can make provide you with a lot of opportunity to explore how abilities work. Also, through the level design, Talos 1 is such an amazingly built area. It has a lot of hidden places to get to that is also different from the rest. For those with the killer gamer type, I give this a 4. The combat was buggy and quite lackluster. At first, it's very satisfying to find a mimic and kill them, but as the game progresses, the mechanics don't scale toward the end of the game. The more abilities that you get, the game becomes easier and easier, and you're just frankly overpowered. Socializers. There's no multiplayer, so this is honestly just going to be a 1. And finally, for you achievers, this I'm going to give it a 6. There was a possibility to find all the crew members in each area, which actually was pretty rewarding because with each crew member you could loot them, either finding a log of how they died or just getting some awesome loot like some neuromods. Finding crew members also started different quest lines, and not to mention there's hidden items like the golden pistol. With the possibility of crafting unlimited neuromods, you can unlock all the abilities. And with that, I'll wrap it up. Thought Prey was an awesome game. Overall, I'd give it a 7. The level design, the build options were incredible, but the combat, the bugginess, the lack of depth within the AI really turned me off. With that, leave a comment down below what you thought of the game, and if you disagree with me, let me know down in the comments as well. Alright, and I'll see you next time.